You're muted.
Oh, for pickle's sake. Okay, so I hope you saw everything that I posted for yesterday's lesson. Remember, it wasn't that we need to memorize the Mayan system, right? Or I need to know all the symbols. That's not the thing. We were just getting big picture ideas of what number systems look like, right? So that's what we were trying to do. So, for example, I read your exit tickets, and some of you, I think, were just like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to write on this exit ticket, but some of you were right on the mark. Like you wrote things like, I can't even remember, like maybe you told me what a symbol represents, or maybe we told me what all the symbols represent. But if we look at big picture things, what we're looking for is like that every number system has some sort of symbols and values that are related to them, yes? So I hope we all kind of got that as a big picture. Then you could see that some systems are positional, right? Where it matters where it is placed. For example, in Roman numerals, if a symbol is placed to the other side, it becomes a subtractive property, right? So if you have IV, that means 4. And so that was one of the first systems that had a subtractive property. And some systems didn't have 0 as a placeholder. And that's when you guys were frustrated. We're like, is there a space there? Is there not a space there? I don't understand. So, but all of the numbers were based, if it was a positional system, it had place value attached to it. Nice. Are you feeling a little bit better? Maybe, maybe not. It's okay. Yesterday was fun. So my interactive notebook is getting meatier and bulkier. Oh, that's weird that I didn't update this page. I'll have to update this one page. But I updated all your interactive notebook links. Who was emailing me that they couldn't see them? Did you find them now? When you clicked on that shelf, I can't remember who it was. Like literally my mind is blank. Kristen, did you find them?
No, it only had week 2, not week 1.
Yeah, week 2 and week 1. We're only in week 2. Oh,
no,
you don't have
week 1. It only had week 2.
So, but are you clicking on that bookshelf?
Yeah.
And it goes to that pink page, right?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I will check. Are you talking about, were you looking at the paper one or the electronic one?
Paper one. I'm pulling it up right now. Like that.
Okay, because I forgot about the electronic one. I mean the paper one. So I can check on that too.
I have the paper one pulled up and it's showing all the links.
It has, like when you click on the top one where it says sample whatever notebook, and it has all the pages, like from page 1 on.
Let me make sure.
You want me to share my screen?
Sure, share your screen. And I'm sure it's just something I have to fix on my end, but it's also in the OneNote notebook too. You can find it. I don't know. Can you guys hear my fan on? I was sweating to death, so I had to turn the fan on so I didn't die. So
when I click on the
okay, so
it just comes.
Okay, so it only gave you yesterday's stuff. So,
yeah.
and if you scroll up and down, so, okay, so I'll just fix that link today. But if you go back to that other page, if you look in click in the sample electronic notebook.
I think the electronic one has everything.
Because, yeah, that electronic one will have everything. I must have just linked the wrong one in my sample one. So I will fix that right after class. So yeah, this one should have it all, but I'll fix it, Kristen.
Okay.
Okay, nice job. Now, just as a reminder, it is T-shirt Tuesday. Did anyone wear a T-shirt to share? Anyone? Oh, Mackenzie did. I'm so excited. And Kristen did too. I should have sent out a reminder and I didn't, but I'm so impressed with Mackenzie and Kristen. So Mackenzie, you share first.
Okay. So I literally just got this shirt yesterday. It's a Harry Potter shirt. And I've literally been looking for it everywhere. It's Dobby and it says free Dobby and there's like a little sock on it. I have been looking everywhere for this shirt, so I was really excited when I found it the other day.
Where did you find it?
It's at I was at the Chandler Mall and it was at this place called Box Lunch. They have it's kind of like a
Ooh.
Hot Topic and they have like a bunch of like Harry Potter, Marvel, Disney, bunch of random stuff in there. So
Very
yeah,
cute.
I was excited.
Love it. Very cute. Kristen, let's show yours.
Mine's Harry Potter too.
I didn't know it was Harry Potter Day. That is super cute. Yeah, you guys didn't give me the memo that it was Harry Potter Day. Thanks for that. It's all right. It's all right. I like Harry Potter too. That we could get totally sidetracked. So some people, I had a student do the math in Harry Potter, and it was a fascinating project that someone did. It was amazing. So, okay, now for my shirt. My shirt is not Harry Potter. I know you're shocked. It's okay. Are you ready? Okay. I have to stand up because it's kind of long. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. It's my math shirt. I love Shayla's covering her mouth because it might make her vomit. Or she's just laughing so hard. It was so funny. Yeah, see? So nice. So yeah, I appreciate that my shirts are mathy, but I like non-mathy shirts too. So feel free to share anything. Somebody in my last class shared a Kirby shirt. I love Kirby. Remember Kirby? Yeah, super fun. Okay, so back to Important Town. Today, did you see my link with the handout for today? I'll put them in the chat too if you need them. Today, we're going to do different bases. Meaning, yesterday we talked about like Mayan was base 20, Babylonian was base 60, Egyptian was base 10. Remember that? So now we're going to kind of investigate that a little bit further. And through your exploding dots activity, then you're going to investigate it in a different way. So in class, we're going to use a candy factory analogy. Outside of class, you're going to investigate an exploding dots strategy. Some of you might like one more than the other, right? One of them might speak to you better, like make it more sense. Hopefully one of them does. Hopefully it's not, neither of them make any sense, okay? I don't know what that little thing is right there. I don't know why that little thing is right there, but I can't get rid of it, so we're stuck. So we're gonna look at place value and major features of number systems, reasoning abstractly and quantitatively, and constructing viable arguments and critiquing the reasoning of others. By the way, this is where I put the handout links, was right up there on the first slide. And they should be clickable in the PDF, and I think I updated them. So, okay, so here's a quick thing for you, and you can type it in the chat. We'll do number one first. Without looking at your notes, write one math practice with the number and words. You don't even have to explain what it means. Just write the math practice in number and words. So for example, like number 2 says MP5, maybe MP5 is yours, so you already know it. So number 1, any math practice in the chat by number and words. I'm gonna give you about 15 seconds to type because some of them are long, right? All right, 3, 2, 1, enter. Or go, I'm supposed to say go. Sorry, I didn't even follow my own rule. So look through them, hopefully you're seeing them. Remember, we want numbers and words, and I want the exact phrasing that they really are. I mean, they spent a lot of time writing them. So let's take a look. We have MP4, model with mathematics, excellent. MP6, attend to precision. MP6 is attend to precision, Juan, but MP3, somebody else wrote, I thought. MP3, Shayla wrote, construct viable arguments and critique the reasoning of others. MP2, reason abstractly and quantitatively. MP1, Abigail, you're right there. You just need to say make sense of problems and persevere in solving them. Okay, so don't leave that part out. MP6 really say attend to precision. Okay, so on the midterm and the final, I have questions about the math practices, so you should know as many of them as you possibly can, what they look like in the classroom, and know them by number and word. Okay, so I don't think we need to do number 2. Did anybody write MP5? Does anyone know what MP5 is? Maybe we should do it because nobody listed MP5. MP5, do you know? 3, 2, 1, go. Yes, use appropriate tools strategically. So, and that's how we want to say it. Use appropriate tools strategically. So these warm-ups are practice for studying, right? If you had to use your notebook to look them up, you need to review those. So if you need to make flashcards for yourself, whatever you need to do, some of us have better memories than others, and some of us just have a lot on our minds that we can't keep track of things. So we need to practice some of these things. All right, question 3. I want you to say what type of sequence it is. Okay, so what type of sequence is that? And then we'll talk aloud, how do you know? So what type of sequence is number 3? So I'll give you about 10 seconds and then I'll count you down. All right, 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not disagreeing with you. Dividing by 2 is correct, but Mackenzie got the word that I was looking for. It's a geometric sequence because there's a common ratio. And normally we talk about it in multiplication, not in division. So we would say the common ratio is 1/2. Yes, dividing by 2 and multiplying by 1/2 are the same. So review geometric versus arithmetic, okay? And I put that in my notebook as well. Okay, so that's a good way to know how you're doing with the material. Now, we're going to go to Pretend Town now. Are you ready? Okay, so I'm going to explain it to you and then I'm going to take off my screen so I can see your faces. Okay, so imagine if there were no more numbers. There's only these letters. Okay, and letter A represents the number 1. And B represents the number 2. And C represents the number 3. And so on. Yes? You with me so far? Okay, so A is 1, B is 2, C is 3. So now I'm going to call out, I'm going to say a number, and you're going to type in the chat, or actually we'll do it the other way. I'll say a letter, and you guys hold up your fingers with what number it is. Yes? Okay? And then we'll do it in the chat with the letters the other way. Okay, are you ready? Everybody understand the game? Okay, so I'm going to say a letter. You're going to say what number that is. Okay. So, wait, I just said it wrong. See, I had backwards game in my brain. Okay, we're not doing that one. Okay, are you ready? So B. Nice, you can see each other's, right? Yeah, isn't it fun since we have our cameras on? All right. E. I. Okay. B. H. Okay. F. This is a hard game, isn't it? Yeah, it's a hard game because you haven't internalized this number system for you. that symbol doesn't go to that number in your head, right? So now we're going to do it again, yes? But this time it's going to be addition. So I'm going to say, this time we're going to do it in the chat. Maybe we need a little more practice. Okay, so this time in the chat, I want you to type the letter that I'm saying the number of. Okay, so like if I say 1, you're going to type an A. Yes? Okay, ready? We'll do like 3 and then we'll do addition. Okay. 7. Nice. 11. There you go. Carrie was super fast. I don't know if she has a little secret code somewhere. I don't know what's happening, but good job. 9. All right, good. So now I think you know the game. Now we're going to do addition problems. Yes? Yes, addition problems. So I want you to just tell me the answer, but there's no numbers, right? It's only letters. So you're going to tell me the letter. Are you ready? I'll start off nicely. A plus C. A plus C. I don't want numbers. I want letters. There you go. So A plus C equals D. Very nice. Okay, now you're prepared. You're giving me the letters. You ready for the next one? C plus B. C plus B. Nice. Okay, you ready? F plus A. F plus A. Okay, 2 more. G plus D. G plus D. Okay, last one. Let's see. J plus G. J plus G. All right, good job. Now, tell me what was frustrating about that game. What was hard about that game? What made it hard?
Not knowing what the letters correspond to.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't know automatically that D was 4, right? Like it didn't, you had to think about it. How many of you were counting on your fingers? Like A, B, C, D, right? Yeah, almost all of us. That's how you just felt right there is how your young elementary school students feel every day. When you show them this, that's an 8, that is a foreign symbol to them. They do not know what that means, right? It's just like the secret code we just played. So that frustration, some of you I could tell just like quit in the chat. You're like, I'm out. I'll just wait till somebody else types and then I'll go, right? I get it. That's how your students feel, right? If you're teaching kinder especially or pre-K, they are in that world of they don't even know what you're doing, right? My son, for some reason, mixed up 6 and 8 when he was learning his numbers. Like he literally thought 6 was the symbol for 8 and 8 was the symbol for 6. So when he would see 6 objects, he would write the number 8. And it's because he had internalized that system incorrectly. So to us, it's really easy. When we see 4 plus 5, we're like, boom, 9. Kids don't have that connection, right? Kids are still developing those systems. So if you thought that was frustrating, that's what I'm trying to get you to feel so you can see what your students feel. So very often we ask students to interact with this symbolic system that they have not internalized, okay? And until they internalize it, they cannot use it efficiently. So how do we get them to internalize it? The easiest way is concrete objects. That's where we start really early. How many of you have seen blocks in the classroom, right? Little things like this, little manipulatives to use. Yeah. So in the early grades of elementary school, we use base 10 blocks a lot. Yeah. Well, instead of base 10 blocks today, we're going to talk in base 4. And you could think of base 4 blocks, or you could draw them or write them down. Okay. So now we're going to go to our candy factory. So if you have your candy factory handout, you can get that out and follow along with it. So, and I'll pull it up in just a minute, but the B4 Candy Factory has rules, and this is how candy is packaged. There's unit boxes, they only hold 1 piece of candy, right? So they're just little small cubes. Then there's long boxes that hold 4 candies each. Then there's flat boxes that hold 16 candies. And then there's cartons that hold 64 candies. We could have bigger size boxes, but we're just gonna start right here, okay? So the B4 Candy Corporation, for efficiency, always wants to use the fewest number of boxes when they're packaging a chocolate order. And they have to make sure that every box is completely full. Yes, they cannot have any partial boxes. Does everybody understand? So if you have 3 candies, you can't use a long box. You have to use 3 unit boxes because those boxes all have to be full. Make sense? Okay. So B4 candy boxes would be different than B10 or B2 candy boxes, right? So if we're looking at 1, 2, B4, we wouldn't call that number 12, even though in our brains, probably right when you looked at that, you saw the number 12, right? It's not the number 12 anymore. We're going to read it as 1, 2, base 4. And 1, 2, base 4 means, that's why it says B4, stands for 1 long box and 2 unit boxes. So if we were counting candies, we would have 6 total candies, right? Is everybody okay? And if we look at 203, that stands for 2 flat boxes, no long boxes, and 3 unit boxes. So if we figure out how many candies are there, how many candies are in this flat box? You can look up from your code. Yeah, so there's 16 here and 16 here, and then there's 1, 1, 1. So that's a total of 35 candy. Do you agree? You see how I got that? Or you could think of, I want you to think about what we were doing yesterday with our number systems. We have 2 flat boxes, and each flat box is worth 16 candy, right? Or holds 16 candies. Then we have 3 unit boxes, and 3 unit boxes are all worth 1. And to calculate how many candies, that's what we would do to add them together. Make sense? Are you with me? Can you work at the candy factory? Maybe. Maybe we're allowed to work there. We'll see. So if you look on that next page, I have some memos. Okay, so and one of your assignments this week is to write a memo on a discussion board for a B2 candy factory. So that's going to be different. But we're in a B4 candy factory, and it says make a sketch. Oh, hold on. Tintu. Let me make sure I keep an eye on the chat. How we figure out the box. Tintu, do you mean on the previous page right here?
Yes.
Okay, so figure out like this part, like how many candies that holds.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so it goes back to right up here where these are our boxes. Okay, so if you think of place value, this will be the ones place, right? The next place value over will be the fours place. The next box over will be the 16th place. And the next box over would be the 64th place. And if you want to relate it to our base 10 system, or think about it this way, you would say, okay, 1 is the same as this is base 4 to the 0 power, because we should all agree that 4 to the 0 power is the same as 1. 4 to the first power is the same as 4. 4 to the second power is the same as 16. And 4 to the third power is the same as 64. Just like in our base 10 system, right here, the unit would be 10 to the 0. In our tens place, it would be 10 to the first power. In our hundredths place, it would be 10 to the second power. And in our thousandths place, it would be 10 to the third power. Does that help, Tintu? Anyone else have questions? Please just ask them. Tintu, I don't know if you said it helped because you were muted, but did it help?
Yes, I sent it the chat. Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. Oh, I didn't get it in the chat. I don't know why. I'm losing my, yes. Savannah, where do you want the screen? Is this too low right here? You want this one up higher? Is that better?
Oh no, it was for when you were working on the other problem, but I already got it now.
Okay, and I can go back and I think this will all be saved in your notebook. If it's not, I'll make sure I save it, okay? Okay, so now I want you to try this. Draw a picture of what the numerals mean in terms of what kind of boxes. Now, before you draw it, and before you draw all these rectangles, you could, for units, you can use, oops, sorry, I just moved something. Didn't mean to do that. That's where that weird thing came from. Okay, so you can use a dot for the units because it'll be easier to draw. You can use a line for the longs. You can use a square for the flat. And then if you need a carton, it would look like this, okay? And remember that a unit is only 1, a long holds 4 candies, a flat holds 16, and a carton holds 64. So when we look at this 31B4, that's telling us this 1 is in the unit place. So that means we have 1 unit box. This 3 is in the longs place. So we have 3 long boxes. Yes?
Is it the way that that works is you kind of start from the right because it goes the unit, long, flat, carton. So it's kind of like it's backwards. You start with the 1 and the 3 and then you keep adding and that's where you get the flat and the carton.
Yeah, but I want you to think about it not being backwards. Isn't that how our number system works?
Yeah.
Yeah, so our number system works. We start, the furthest right is our 1, but then we get bigger as we move to the left.
Yeah.
Okay, good. It's exactly the same. So how would I draw, you could even just describe, how would I draw this 31B4?
It would be 3 lines and a dot if you're using the...
Very nice. 3 lines and then a dot. Yeah, and that's just easier than trying to draw all those rectangles. So 3 lines and a dot. Does everybody see where we would get 3 lines and a dot from? Now, any questions on that? Yay. So can you figure out how many candies is 3 lines and a dot? It's not 31. I'll give you a hint. It's not 31. How many candies are in 3 lines and a dot?
13.
13. So can you explain how you got 13? Can you explain the mathematics to us?
Because each of the lines is 4, so it's 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 1 for the dot.
So you did 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus
Plus
1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, did anyone else do it differently? Oh, look, Juan wrote it in the chat. Juan wrote 3 times 4 plus 1. Excellent. So they're equivalent, right? Remember that multiplication is just a shortcut way of writing addition, so that repeated addition. So 3 copies of 4 is the same as 3 times 4. Excellent. All right, did you do the second one already? 1201. Yeah, I can stop sharing mine, or can you guys write on this? I wish you could. I don't think you can you?
I have a question.
Yes, I'm ready.
So how does the 31 correlate with the 3 lines and a dot?
Okay,
Or is
number
it
one,
just 3 and 1?
hold on. Number one, you're never going to call that a 31 again, okay? Because that is not 31, because we're in base 4, and 30 implies 3 groups of 10. So we don't want to say 31. You're going to have to practice saying these out loud. It's tricky, right? So the 3 corresponds, it's in the longs place, right?
Yes.
It's in that second place value. So it refers to 3 groups of 4. So that's why I drew 3 lines there. And then with the 1 corresponds to units place. So it's just 1 dot there. Did that help? And Sydney had the same question.
So if the number is like a 5, would it be in the flats one then?
Interesting question. We're going to talk about that in just a second. Yes, if it was a 5, what would it look like? First of all, I would never write a 5, right? Because I can't have 5 candies in one box. Because remember, all my boxes have to be full. So if I was going to try to show 5 candy, I would have 1 long and 1 dot, right? So my number would be, right? My number would be 1, 1, and that would be a 5. Yeah, so Abigail's like, how does 13 equal 31? That's not what I'm saying. You're thinking about base 10. We're not in base 10. We're in base 4, right? Base 4 is different, okay? Base 4 is different. So let's move on. As long as you're playing along, you'll be okay. So let's look at the next one. Who can tell me what the picture looks like on the second memo? So Elizabeth just gave me the answer. That's awesome. You are correct. But what would my picture look like?
I did 1 dot, nothing for the long because it was a 0, 2 flats, and then 1 carton.
Excellent. So this is what your picture would look like, right? And so Elizabeth's saying, okay, there's 64 in a carton. There's 16 in each flat. We had no longs, and then we had 1 little candy box that only held 1. So if we add those all up, we do get 97 candies. This would be 13 candies. Sorry, I didn't write that over here. Now, I could write it the same way I write expanded notation. So I have 1 times 64, which is really 1 times 4 to the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 to the 3rd power, plus 2 times 16, which is really 2 times 4 to the 2nd power, plus 1 times 1 to the 0 power. Yes, this would be expanded notation. Do you see how it mirrors other number systems? I'm not saying it feels good yet. I'm not saying you want to work at the candy factory, but I'm just saying, are you playing along? Are you making sense? Added the numbers up once you drew it out to double check your math. That's perfect. Good job, Elizabeth. By the way, that pink, is it hard to see on your screen? Should I change it to a lighter color? No, it's okay. Good. It looked fine on my iPad, but when I looked up at my laptop, I was like, ooh, that might be a little dark. I don't know.
Do we have to write it in the expanded way always, or can we do it a simpler way?
like this way up here, the way Elizabeth did it.
Yeah.
You can write it however you want, but to make sense of things and explain things, this way is going to relate to more number systems. So you decide, and you might not be able to decide yet, right? Okay, so this is what I need everybody to do right now. Everybody take a deep breath. Put your pencil down. Okay. Stretch, like just put your hands on your head, like I know I can figure this out. Like it's okay. We got it. Yes. Are you okay? Because I think I'm sensing some panic attacks. Am I getting some panic attacks here? Yes. Amy's like, I am seriously having a panic attack. Now, some of you are like, nope, I'm good. I got this. It doesn't matter where you are on that spectrum. You will all come around. It just might take a little bit longer. So just take really good notes. You might have to watch the video again. You might have to come see me in office hours, but you can do this, I promise. Okay? All right. So you shake it out. You ready to move on?
Ms. Roxanne, I have a question.
I'm ready, Amy.
So how did you get, I don't get the picture for that second one. So why is it 64 and the 16 and the 16? Where did that come from?
Okay, so remember way back here, let me go back here. Remember, these are the boxes we're working with.
Okay.
Yes? So, and this is our place value. So this first one, this first one is like our ones place, right? This next one is our next place value, which holds 4 candies. The next one is our next place value, which holds 16 candies. The next one holds 64 candies. So I'm just going to apply that. Since I had a number that said this, 1201, this is what it's telling me. It's saying I have 1 of these cartons, I have 2 of these flats, I have no longs, and I have 1 unit.
Ah, okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Yay.
That makes
okay,
more
Elizabeth.
sense.
Oh, good. Thanks, Amy. Elizabeth had a good hint. Also use the Brain Fuse tutoring offered in Canvas. They're so helpful. I agree. Also, our tutoring center here on campus is very helpful. It's only open 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., but Bobby is a great tutor. He's been through all of these classes, just so you know. And so if Bobby's available, he's a great one to visit. Not that other ones aren't, but Bobby definitely has hands-on experience with this. Okay, so now, here's the interesting thing. So it says, so you have a question on your handout, right? That said, before we get to this part, it says, how are the B4 packaging boxes related to one another? So I want you to think about that for a minute. How are the B4 boxes related to each other? So think about it. If you want to say it out loud, you can. If you want to type it in the chat, you can. I don't want you doing that assignment yet. I'm going to pull up the handout because I think you have this question.
It is. It's number 2 on the handout.
Yeah, so number 2 on the handout, that's what we're answering right now.
So is that asking us what the base is?
No, it's saying like, so when you start here at your unit, you know, on the far right on your unit, how is it related to the next size over and the next one over?
Oh, okay.
Oh, Juan's got an idea. A carton is 4 times a flat is 4 times a long is 4 times a unit. Do you guys agree? Nice. I agree as well. So you could describe that. How could you describe that in general instead of just listing each box? Because we could keep on going to the left. So every place value to the left is
4 times larger than the one to the right.
Perfect. 4 times larger than the one that's immediately to the right. Yes? So the place value is 4 times larger than the place value immediately to the right. And I think that's where Brittany was going with it when she said, are we talking about the base? Because it's like we're doing a base of 4 here, right? I'm just giving you a minute to write that in. And then we're gonna talk part 3. Questions 3, A and B are related to each other. So I'll start you out loud and then we'll write it in there. So it says, start with 1 unit and continue adding units, 1 at a time. So you're gonna say the number out loud and write the number in base 4 each time. Repackage or regroup whenever necessary. So I want you to think about this. So we're gonna start right here. Let me go back to my slide. Sorry. It's not, my fingers must be too cold or too hot or something, but it's not moving. Okay, so we're gonna start right here. And I'm gonna write right here 1. That would be 1 candy, right? Now I have 2 candies, that's okay. I can have 2 candies. Then I have 3 candies. And then what happens right here? I want you to think about this. So when I'm up here, I start with 1 dot, and then I do 2 unit boxes, right? And then I do 3 unit boxes. But what happens when I add 1 more dot to this? I want to use the fewest number of boxes possible. Juan said these 4 would combine and make 1 long. That's totally correct. Mackenzie, perfect. You'd use a new box. So process it the way it makes sense to you. So when you use a new box, now I would have 1 long and I wouldn't have any units. So this right here in this box, I'm going to write as 1 0. Notice I did not say 10 because that is not 10. That is the number 4 in base 4. Tricky? It is tricky. Okay, so now I want you to fill out the rest of that. I'm going to give you about, I don't know, a minute to fill in the rest of the boxes. And if you want to chat with me, you totally can, whatever you need to on that one.
Did you want us to draw the pictures for all of them like you did over
No,
here on the left? Okay.
you don't have to. If you need to, do it. If you don't worry about it. That was just me making sense of it.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. When you're done, type what you wish you were eating right now in the chat, because I'm hungry. So when you're done with that table, type to me what you would. Yes, I'm ready.
Going back to number 2, where it was how are the B4 packaging boxes related to one another? Was it just it is 4 times more than the other one? Is that kind of how would you word it like that?
Yep. It's 4 times larger than the packages to the right or than the units to the right. That's what I said.
Okay.
Yep.
And I think I'm confused on what we're doing. Like I understood the first row, but then I don't know how to keep going. Like, so then I don't know.
Well, what would you do if you wanted 1 more candy? Right now, I just have 1 line, right? Can I add a dot? Because that would be, so this is 1 candy, 2 candies, 3 candies, 4 candies. Now I want 5 candies. Is this 5 candies?
Yes.
Yep. So how would I write that number?
5? No.
Look at your boxes. How many of each of them there are there? So it's going to be 1 1. Yeah, because there's 1 of each of the boxes. Does that make sense?
Yes, kind of.
Okay, good. Keep going. You can be wrong, by the way, right? You can be wrong. It's okay to be wrong. I'm going to give everybody a couple seconds because I don't have a lot of food yet in my little thing.
I think I'm getting it, but I don't know if it's right. But
Good. We'll see in just a minute. Keep going. You're doing great. Like I said, if you make a mistake, that's when we're going to figure it out. So. All right, I'll give you about 30 more seconds because I'm getting lots more food. All right. So if you're not quite finished, that's okay. Some of you might be leaving it blank because you don't want it to be wrong. Don't do that, right? Be wrong, because I promise you, you'll learn more, okay? So who can fill in the rest of these for me? First of all, did we figure out if you can annotate? Because I don't think you can you?
Not on that screen, I can't.
Nope.
I wish you guys could. I don't know why you can't, but it's irritating to me. Okay. Anyway, so who said I can? And go ahead and tell me the rest. Yay. Okay, go ahead.
So when I was doing it, I was first confused, but then it clicked. So the next box would be 1, 2 to make 6, and then it would be 1, 3 to make 7, and then it would be 2, 0 to make 8. And then you would do like the same thing. It'd be 2, 1 to make 9, 2, 2 to make 10, 2, 3 to make 11, and then 3, 0 to make 12. And then 3, 1 to make 13, 3, 2 to make 14, 3, 3 to make 15, and 4, 0 to make 16.
She did it. Excellent. That's awesome. Emily, was that you?
Yes.
Okay, good. That's awesome. And Savannah, are you going by Missy or Savannah?
Sorry, it's Savannah, but because my computer name is Missy, it's my nickname. That's what it always goes on.
No, that's totally fine because I wrote down Missy, but then I saw you changed it, and I was like,
yeah, it always pops up as that.
You can leave it as Missy. That's totally fine.
No worries. I never know, so I just always change it to Savannah.
Nope, you're fine. Once I saw on your Google form where you said that that's your nickname, that's totally fine. Okay, so Missy said she got the same thing.
I got 100 in the last box too, or 100.
Let's talk about that, and that's what Juan and Kristen and Brittany are all saying. So let's talk about, sorry about that. Let's talk about this last box right here. What happens in that last box? Why should we change it to not say 4, 0? Brittany, can you explain it?
Yeah, because there's 16, you would go from up to the flat or the cube. I don't know what we're calling it. The box that has 16.
We'll go back and look. I think we called it a carton. I think we called it a carton,
Flat.
but
No, it's a flat.
oh yeah, the flat, yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to go there because remember, we want to use as few boxes as we want, right? As we can. So what you're going to notice about this, what the key is to this, when we're in base 4, each time you can move to the next size box, you have to move over to the next place value. Does that make sense?
Wait, I have a question.
Yes, I'm ready.
So we change, so we don't put the 40, we put the 100, and it's because you're going up to the next place value, correct? That's
Correct. And by the way, it's not 100.
Oh, yes, sorry, it's not 100.
It's tricky. Okay, go ahead. What were you going to say? It's because we're going up to the next box and the next place value.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so after you maybe made some errors on that and you're like, oh, I can't use that 40, I have to use 100. Do you notice that we use the digits 0 and then we use 1 and then we use 2 and then we use 3, but we never used the 4 digit. Every time we got to that, we moved over to the next place value and started over. Did you notice that? Anaka, that's great if you use the pictures, but can you connect it to the numbers as well? You need to be able to do both, the pictures and the numbers. Excellent. Sometimes the pictures make it easier. Emily, good. It's because it's base 4. Now I want you to connect this right now. Base 4 has 4 digits available, and those are the 4 digits available: 0, 1, 2, and 3. There are no other digits in base 4. Those are the only ones you can use. And as an aside, I want you to think about base 10. How many digits do we have in base 10? We have 10. What are they?
0 to 9.
0 to 9. There's 10 digits there, right? 0 to 9. And notice that every time we want to go one higher than 9, we have to move over a place value. So base 4 works exactly like base 10. Yes? You're just not used to it, right? So for base 2, be careful, Elizabeth, you only can have 2 digits. So what are the digits in base 2? It's just 0 and 1 because there's 2 digits in base 2. So just 0 and 1. You can't use a 2. Tricky? So what are the digits in base 8? Let's say base 8, what would be the available digits to you? 0 through 7. Excellent. Very nice. So it's interesting. This is very difficult for us, right? And you're like, why are you torturing me like this? When you teach young elementary students, when they regroup to the next place value, they have no idea what you're talking about. What I just did to you, putting you in the B4 candy factory, is what you do to them every day in kindergarten and first grade. Emily, I'm so happy you're saying this is revolutionary. It's so fun. So binary, which is base 2, that's what our computers are all based on, right? They're all in binary. So Emily, I want to see how revolutionary you think exploding dots is. When you get to the exploding dots activity, some of you, this candy factory is hard, and the exploding dots will make more sense. By the way, did anyone start exploding dots yet? Is there anyone who started it?
I was a
You
little
didn't have to.
confused on it.
Okay.
On the, because you said like watch the video. So I watched the video, like the 20-second video. And then do we just click on, I think it was the M?
The Mechanica, yeah.
So is that what we
island.
And then we keep going?
You're going to go through that whole first island. Yep.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Yes. And by the way, James Panton, who is in that video, he's my math crush. I don't know if you needed that information, but he is fascinating. So he is an amazing, amazing mathematician. Okay.
On the instructions, because it said like watch the video, and then I thought it said like watch another video and then go to the island, and I didn't know if there was another video, but I already watched the first one, and then you go to the island and then you keep going.
And then there's a video there, so I just need to adjust those directions. Sorry about that. They keep changing that website too.
Okay.
Okay, so now let's move on to this next page. So this table is what you see in your paper, and the left column is a regular number. So B10 is base 10. So that's a regular number. So you can really call that a 38. That really is a 38. So, and then I want you to sketch it for the B4 candy packaging. And then I want you to write the number in B4. Now notice in A, B, C, and D, I switched which piece was missing. On the first one, I gave you the base 10 number, but I didn't give you the other two pieces. In the next one, I gave you the B4 number, but I didn't give you the other one. Okay, so something's missing in each one of those. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'll do the first one with you. Okay, and then you guys are gonna be in breakout rooms, just random, because I don't have time to put you in your team, and we'll just go from there. So if I wanna show the fewest amount of packages I can, so I wanna take 38, and I wanna say, okay, 38, what's the biggest box that could be full with candies if I have 38? Well, I can't use any cartons, right? Because that's 64 candies, so that's too many. So I'm gonna use the flat, which is 16. So there's 16 candies. So if I do 38 minus 16, I have 22 candies left, right? So I can use another flat of 16 and subtract again, oops, sorry, minus 16, and I get 6 candies left. So the next, I'm gonna have to go down a box size, right? So I'm gonna go to my longs. So I'm gonna make one long, which is 4 candies, and then I have 2 left. So that's what my packaging looks like. So that's 38 candies. This is what it looks like in my boxes. So how do I write my number in B4? What would I write? Ah, nice, Anaka, 212. And I'm gonna write that B4 just to remind us that it's really a base 4 number. Excellent, Carrie, very nice. Elizabeth, 10-2, you guys are rocking it. Okay, so I want you to finish that table and then you can answer the rest of the questions. I'm gonna put you in breakout rooms for about at least 10 or 12 minutes. Okay, so work on this together and I'll come visit you. Okay, don't forget to go in your breakout room so you can talk to your people.
I have a question. You're muted.
I'm ready.
What's bigger than a carton?
Oh, what is bigger than a carton? What do you want it to be?
Well, we made it an X, but I'm going with that doesn't really go with the theme really well.
Right. Why don't you try sticking your work at the factory, man? Why don't you pick what you're going to call it?
All right.
How about a crate?
Oh, who said a crate? Was that?
I like a crate.
Me.
Was that Ken? Oh, Kristen. What's funny is Kenzie said the same thing. Kenzie said a crate too. I called it a mega carton.
A mega carton.
I did.
I like that.
called it a mega carton.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
There's your work. I can see it now.
Yeah, if you were ordering candy, would you order the mega carton? I would.
Well,
I'm pretty sure I would.
With some ice cream on top.
There you go. Yes. Right before I go to exercise. Okay, so I just put that up so you can check your work. I know you're all back from your breakout rooms. Some of you might not have gotten completely finished, right? It's okay. If you want to copy mine down, that's fine. Just see if you can make sense of it for yourself later. Okay, now the part D was probably the hardest, I think, because you might have noticed you needed another size box because you would have filled too many cartons. So you needed something that held more candies. So if you take 64 times 4, you know that that next container, whatever you're going to call it, is going to hold 256 candies, right? So I called it a mega carton. Some groups called it a crate, a case, whatever you want to call it. I'm ordering the mega carton of candy as soon as we're done. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so this will help you make sense of it, right? And then the number in the far right would be 10023 in base 4. So I'm going to leave that up there for a minute so everybody understands it, make sure they know what's happening. Any questions?
Yeah, I didn't do the 256. I just did the 464s. So then therefore my numerical in B4 packaging is different.
Yeah, but it can't be, right? Because you use the digit of 4. Is 4 allowed?
There you go. That's why.
4 cartons is not okay because we have to go to the next place value. Oh, that one, that's why it's so hard. It's just like that bottom square of the table that we did that went to 100. Same idea. We had to repackage because we can't have 4 of anything. Tricky, tricky.
I think you purposely didn't give us that size to mess with us.
Not to mess with you, to make you think.
I'm with Brittany on that one, yeah.
Well, if you think that's messing with you, you have a long semester ahead of you.
Oh no.
Because remember, I'm just trying to stretch that concept, right? Because you all already knew place value, right? But you knew place value in base 10. We need place value in base 4. Okay, so Amy, it's not 100, it's 100, right? There's no 100 anywhere because we're not in base 10. So we had to come up with a bigger size carton because we have to move to the next place value. Yep, so Carrie did a great explanation there. The 1 is the new mega cart and the 0 is there's no cartons anymore, right? There's no cartons anymore and no flats. We had to go straight down to longs. Because here's what I'm suspecting. I'm suspecting you wrote something like this, or you drew something like this, where you had 4 of these. So you drew like 4 cartons.
Yeah, that's what I did. I can show it right here so that way.
But then remember, you can't have 4 of anything, right? Once you go to 4, you have to combine all those and they become your mega carton. Yeah? Does that make sense? Excellent. Okay, now I want to just show you the end of our slides. We've already talked about a lot about this, And the answers at the bottom of your worksheet are really important. You can go through the rest of this. We'll talk about this first thing tomorrow. Your initial B2 discussion board post is due Wednesday. Make sure you do different place values homework. I suggest you start on it right away. I don't know when it's due. I'll look and make sure, but start on that right away because it's very related to what we're doing today. Okay, I'm going to put the exit ticket in the chat. I hope. Let me see if I can copy this. Did that pop up? And I'll put it in the chat for you. We're not going to really finish it tomorrow. You should finish it on your own. Okay, you should finish it on your own. We'll go over a couple of the questions. So there's it in your chat. You guys have a lot of assignments. I know you're looking forward to them. Take your time. I'll stay on a few more minutes if anybody needs anything. So, but I'm going to stop talking so you guys can work. If you need to go and finish your exit ticket later, you know, like not logged in, that's fine. You're going to put, Jadalyn, you're just going to put it in your notebook. You were all here, so you're all good. So this just goes in your notes.